Is the Dak Prescott era a success or a failure so far in
It's a
Dallas?
failure. It's a failure. Let's call it what it is. This is America's team. This is a team that's worth $10 billion. $10 billion. $10 billion. That's what Forbes magazine said. $10 billion. Okay? And what do you have to show for it? It is bad enough that the Dallas Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since 1995, to be exact. All right? And clearly, obviously, that includes the entire Dak Prescott era. They haven't even made a Super Bowl appearance. Not only have they not made a Super Bowl appearance, they haven't made an NFC Championship game appearance. You're damn right it's a failure. You understand? Now, that doesn't mean that they haven't had great moments. It doesn't mean that they haven't had respectable seasons. But on several occasions, we've looked at the Dallas Cowboys with their roster. We labeled them a Super Bowl contender, and they have yet to even get to an NFC Championship game. You cannot get around that, Ryan Clark. You can't get around it. Dak Prescott, since 2016, because he balled out in 2016, Dak Prescott has a 2-4 playoff record. Did you know that tied for the worst in the NFL since 2016 with Big Ben and Russell Wilson? I got another stat for you, all right? Because quarterbacks who have as many playoff wins as Dak during his time in Dallas, you know who those quarterbacks are? You ready for this? Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who just showed up last year in one season. In one season, he had as many playoff victories as Dak Prescott. That's Brock Purdy. You know who the other guy is, Ryan Clark? Blake Bortles.
Who, bro?
Blake Bortles. That's who has as many victories. I mean, are we going to stop this nonsense? The brother got his bag. He's the face of the star. He's the quarterback for the most prestigious franchise in sports annals, although one would argue like me that it's the Yankees, okay? The bottom line is Dak Prescott has not come up big. And I'm going to tell you something right now. All them brothers that play for the Cowboys, on both sides of the ball, they looking at that brother right there. They're like, he going to show up. They're like, especially the defense, we going to be all right. You were in Vegas. You saw a bunch of Cowboys showed up for Errol Spence, and they're still recovering. We're all still recovering from what happened to Errol Spence, including yourself, who picked him, RC.
Man, it's
okay,
tough.
you picked him. We said we wish you nothing but the best.
I did.
Instead of saying, we
Okay,
get it.
okay. They
All
heard
right?
you.
All right. All I'm
heard
saying
you.
is we saw those brothers in Vegas, okay? And they would never utter a negative word about Dak Prescott. But you know how they do it in a passive-aggressive way? We good. We good. That's what they say. We good. In other words, you ain't got to worry about us. Is that dude right there. I'm adding that part because they would never say it. I'm adding it. Is that dude right there that got to step up. That's what we waiting for. That's what this is about. Hell no, it ain't a success. Absolutely not.
Well, let me go to Michael Parsons because he sat with us during training camp on the pivot, and he said he has faith in Dak. He said he believes that Dak's a dog, but it made me think about when you said the defense is saying we good, because they are. The defense believes they could be the best defense in the entire NFL. The defense believes and knows that they are Super Bowl caliber right now, and not just good enough to get you there, but good enough to win it. And it is about 4, Stephen A. I'm not going to argue with that. But I would pose this question, or like to make this point. Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round when Tony Romo was the starting quarterback. Dak Prescott wasn't drafted to be the starting quarterback or the franchise quarterback of America's team. Dak Prescott was drafted to provide some depth. Dak Prescott was drafted in hopes that he could one day become a player. And Dak Prescott, thrust into the starting role as a rookie, was absolutely phenomenal and a Pro Bowler. Dak Prescott has turned himself into a playoff caliber, a franchise caliber quarterback. So if we're just talking about the drafting of Dak Prescott and is that a success, it is a resounding yes. Now, here's the truth. When you're the quarterback of America's team, when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and you get the bag, you got to win a championship. And people are going to say, well, what about Drew Bledsoe? And what about Tony Romo? And what about all these other quarterbacks that have been quarterbacks of the Dallas Cowboys? Well, their tenure has been failures too. And up until this point, as the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott has failed. 2-4 in the playoffs is not good enough. And I agree with Mina Kimes wholeheartedly. Playoff wins and losses are not a quarterback stat unless you throw 2 picks in the divisional round of the playoffs and your defense plays well enough to give you a shot. Unless you don't find a way to get a field goal kicked when you're at the San Francisco 49ers in your home stadium. So Dak Prescott knows very dang well he has to prove this year and right now that he's a championship caliber quarterback, or there will be more questions to answer in the offseason. And those questions may not just be, will you get a deal? It may be, are you the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys going forward?
Who has the higher expectations this season, the Cowboys or the Jets?
Oh, the New York Jets. The Jets have taken the mantle away from the Cowboys, especially on Stephen A's show. We talk about the Jets and on Greeny's show more than the Cowboys. I've counted the days, how many times we talk about the Jets and how many times we talk about the Cowboys. It's not even close. The Jets are America's team all of a sudden. They got Aaron Rodgers, and all of a sudden, these New York Jets, they're in the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, every time I turn TV on, we talk about the Jets. We just do. It used to be. It must make Stephen A. mad because Stephen A. wants to beat up the Cowboys, but now we got to talk about Jets, and it's like, wow. They got one guy. They got Aaron Rodgers, and their whole fortune has changed because they got the quarterback. I like them. I think they're a good football team. They play in a tough division. They need to get in the playoffs badly, very bad, or this is going to go bad if they don't get in the playoffs, right? If they don't get in the playoffs this year, the Jets, this is bad. This will be a bad year. That's not good.
Do you want to go first,
take.
Ryan? Ryan, I want you to go. You know what, Ryan? I think you should go first. I want you to get it off your chest. But just remember to leave me just a little bit of time, just a little bit of time. But you go ahead and talk. I want you to go, and then I'm going to go.
I'll be quick.
Go ahead.
I will be quick.
Go ahead, man.
Because here's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, man.
Coach is right. The expectations are higher for the Jets. The reason the Dallas Cowboys ever have any expectation is because of the nostalgia we feel when talking about them. It's because of what we once knew them to be. But the expectations this year have shifted to the Jets based on a top 4 defense last year, based on getting Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard coming over from the Green Bay Packers, Nathaniel Hackett, who didn't do great as a head coach, but we've seen have success as an OC with Aaron Rodgers, and because you got the quarterback. Isn't that what it's about? If people believe there's a dude at quarterback that can make enough plays to help us win a ring, then the expectations rise. But I will say this, things need to be tempered because though Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great, though I can say he's the best quarterback I ever had to face personally, he's only been to the Super Bowl one time. That's it, one time. And he was phenomenal. He walked on water that day, but it's still only one time. But if you're going to ask around this league what team has the highest expectation of these two, it's going to be the New York Jets. If you're going to ask around this league which team has the harder journey to get there, that's going to be the New York Jets too. And that is what makes it tough.
May I go, Coach, or do you have something else you want to slide in real quick before I get into both of y'all?
I was just going to, well, you can get into both of us, but I was just going to say this, Stephen A. We talk about Super Bowls. We talk about Super Bowls. Well, here's the deal. And Aaron just said it. Between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets, who's the quarterback that's going to the Super Bowl? He plays for New York.
All right, now.
What else you need to know?
I've listened to this drivel coming out of y'all mouths over the last 5 minutes. This is just disgraceful stuff. and I want to preface my comments by saying, you see, ladies and gentlemen, I know you know Herm Edwards, the former player. I'm obviously recipient of one of the butt fumbles or whatever it was, that picked it up and ran it into the end zone years ago. I get all of that. Coach for the New York Jets, coach in Kansas City. A great man who has always shown nothing but love for me. I love him dearly and has contributed to teaching me football because at RC, the shame of this man, this is my Libra brother. Mm-hmm. This is my brother, a former Steeler. I mean, listen, I often say, Coach, when I give speeches all the time, I'm a brilliant brother. Why? Because I know I'm not. I simply learn from those who are brilliant, and they teach me. I'm not one of them damn reporters who think that I played. I know I didn't play. I listen to the people who have, and y'all teach me. I'm an exceptional student. That's what I am. And to watch the teachers come to the pupil, watch the teachers come to the student and contaminate his mindset. It's just shameful. It's just shameful. And by the way, America, you know about the Pivot Podcast and the great work that they do, okay? My man RC is the new host inside the NFL, by the way. I mean, the brother doing big things is on Monday Night Countdown. I mean, just taking... He's just taking over. And then he comes on First Take and forgets all the brilliance that he spent time trying to espouse upon me. Let me tell y'all something right now. This is disgraceful stuff. The higher expectations are for the Dallas Cowboys, okay? The New York Jets have not been to the postseason in 12 years. In 12 years. I mean, my God, you talk about Brock Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant. As an organization, they've been Mr. Irrelevant for the last decade, and you know it. Don't look back, Coach. Turn around, man. Turn around when I'm talking to you, Coach. Ain't no escaping this. The fact of the matter is the New York Jets have been Mr. Irrelevant
I'm showing you the playoff ball.
Hold on. Damn it, that was more than a decade ago. I said the last decade. Stop it, okay? We ain't going back to the 90s. I said the last decade. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.